Hey guys, and welcome to Xbox On. Now, E3 is approaching, and it's the one event on the gaming calendar so major that I actually set all my clocks on my wall to count down to it. So when the show kicks off on June 12th, the dinging of the alarms will be heard for miles. That's because so much stuff gets revealed at the multi-day convention in downtown LA, and I legitimately can't wait. Here are the 10 biggest games you'll see and why you really need to get hyped for them. First up, let's look at the as yet unnamed Avengers project taking place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Crystal Dynamics, the studio behind Tomb Raider's successful reboot, are currently handling development duties, and we've even got our first trailer. Recognizable mementos of the Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are strewn about the environment, so whatever did this has to be like big. Thanos big. But whatever the plot, I can't see any way this isn't a class-based game of some sort letting you switch between heroes. It might be an Overwatch-style multiplayer shooter, but my money's on a story-driven action game. Because story is, of course, a massive part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if that's the case, how would it look? The budget is big enough for a Batman, Arkham Knight-style world that you can cavort around in. Imagine having the SHIELD helicarrier acting as a base of operations where you can choose your character, kit yourself out, and embark on missions. Or even just chill out chatting to Nick Fury. Eidos Montreal is also collaborating on it, and they're the team who brought you the last two Deus Ex games. So there's real talent behind what might be the best Marvel game yet. Next up, it's Beyond Good and Evil, and probably the game from last year no one saw coming. Well, I see you coming this year, Beyond Good and Evil. I know you exist. You can't hide from me. The sequel to the cult classic 2003 Xbox adventure is on a scale so much bigger than before. Here you create your own intergalactic pirate and use a spaceship to travel between planets. And the tech in these games is so ambitious that it allows the developer Ubisoft to create entire planets on a one-to-one scale. The vast playable space means you've been given the ability to travel at super speeds, and in order for you to not get separated from your crew, Ubisoft had to implement a feature that lets you lock your armada together. That's how fast we're talking. Add to that motion captured staff-based combat that looks incredibly authentic and your very own jetpack, and I'm beyond hyped to see more. Anthem is the next big BioWare game, and it's the one you really need to look out for because it's basically going to let you roleplay as Iron Man. In this sci-fi adventure, you head to an open-world alien planet and don outrageously cool exosuits called Javelins, which can be upgraded and customized to unlock powerful new abilities. Last year, for Anthem's E3 reveal at the Microsoft conference, we saw two classes of Javelin. One was the Ranger, which is an all-around and balanced javelin, and the other was the Colossus, which is a larger and more heavily armoured javelin. You can bet that in the years since then, BioWare have plenty more to show us. The game features both single-player and co-op for up to 4 people. These 4-person squads can go off on missions together, fighting dangerous locals and wildlife, explore ancient ruins, and unearth cool loot. There's also terrain-shaping occurrences called Shaper Storms to watch out for. So how big is Anthem? Speaking last year on the Xbox Daily Show during E3, EA Vice President Patrick Sutherland said Anthem is a game that we've been working on for almost 4 years now, and it's a game that, once we launch it next year, will be the start of maybe a 10-year journey for us. E3 will be the time to suit up. The reveal trailer of Metro Exodus from last year's E3 was one of my favourite things from the show, so I cannot wait to see more of it. If you're unfamiliar with the Metro series of punishing survival shooters, this third game takes place in 2036, where the entire population of Moscow has been reduced to just a few thousand survivors living in the Metro tunnels after a devastating nuclear war. The first 2 games, Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light, primarily took place in these tunnels, but in Exodus you give up your home and lead a band of hardened rangers across a post-apocalyptic Russia in search of a new habitable land. This vast, non-linear wilderness is going to be such a change from being underground in the dark. For one, you've got your very own modified steam locomotive called the Aurora. This will help you travel vast distances and enable you to see loads of different types of scenery. And that scenery changes with the seasons in a story that spans spring, summer, autumn, and the depths of nuclear winter. That should vary the action nicely and might even lead to the addition of new survival systems. For instance, in winter I can definitely see you losing body heat if you don't wrap up warm and stay near heat sources. And of course there are new enemy types, like this mutated bear. I can't wait. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 represents a major departure in the series. For the first time ever, there's going to be no single player campaign. That is big, but here's why it's a good thing. It lets developer Treyarch hone in on the 3 distinct elements that make up the game: multiplayer, zombies, and Blackout. Blackout is the most intriguing one for me because it's Black Ops 4's answer to Battle Royale. The mode will include land, sea, and air vehicles on a huge map and will span multiple games and heroes from across Black Ops and zombies. Apparently, the map is 1,500 times bigger than Nuketown to accommodate the expanded mayhem. Then there's Zombies, which has had 3 campaign modes revealed so far. The first is Voyage of Despair, which is set aboard a cruise ship during a heist that goes wrong when a bad dude unleashes a curse that turns everyone on board into, you guessed it, zombies. Second is Blood of the Dead, which looks the scariest of all, and the third offers a unique spin on gladiatorial arena combat. I really like how different they all look from past zombie modes, so if you've never played it before, now might be a great time to start. And then there's the multiplayer, bringing the same tight and action-packed component you know and love, going back to basics slightly with the removal of wall running and thrust jumping. COD Black Ops 4 will be a refreshing mix of familiar and brand new. Witcher developer CD Projekt Red isn't quite ready to spill the beans on Cyberpunk 2077, but that doesn't mean we can't do a bit of research, mixed in with some good old-fashioned speculation, naturally. During CD Projekt's fiscal year 2017 financial presentation, President Adam Kicinski says the sci-fi RPG will be announced just before E3. He also confirmed it'll be possible to create your character from several classes. And on the topic of multiplayer, he said that the studio is primarily focusing on delivering a huge, story-driven single-player role-playing game. But let's go deeper. CD Projekt Red submitted a request for a grant from a Polish government program, and among the things they asked for funding for is a complex technology for creating a huge living city playable in real time, based on rules, AI, and automation. This suggests a living city that continues even without you being there. Another feature that CD Projekt needs extra funds for is a complex technology for making unique multiplayer gameplay mechanics, so we might see a revolutionary multiplayer mode after all. It's been 5 years since we first saw the trailer, but Kicinski has us hyped with quotes like, "This is a true RPG for mature audiences. It's handcrafted, detailed, and of course open world with open-ended gameplay." Madness reigned supreme in Rage 2, the punk-fueled post-apocalyptic adventure from Doom developer ID Software, and Just Cause 3 makers Avalanche Studios. One look at the manic trailer released earlier in May was like downing a big can of Monster Energy. This sequel to the 2010 open-world adventure is once again set in a dystopian world where you freely traverse burning sands, lush jungles, and dense swamps as you battle a variety of horrors, from giant mutants to murderous mechanically augmented freaks. You've got an arsenal of upgradable weapons, and with Overdrive you can push them beyond their mechanical limits. Something called Nanotrite also powers some amped up abilities. But best for me is definitely going to be the array of vehicles, including land-based beasts like monster trucks to gyrocopters able to soar through the sky. I think what we're going to see at E3 will confirm Rage is one of the first-person shooters to watch out for. Time for yet another Xbox exclusive, and this one is totally different from the rest of the AAAs on this list. You only need to look at its visuals to see that. They're just so atmospheric and otherworldly that I immediately want to jump in and see what it's all about. But Below is more than good looks. At its heart lies a tough survival game that's among the most immersive you'll play. There's a crafting system where you have to make tools to survive. There's a food system where you have to catch and eat fish and drink from pools, otherwise you die. And there's combat where you have to attack with your sword, block with your shield, and occasionally dart away like a nervous alley cat. Dying kills your character for good, and while you can go back to retrieve all your items from your previous body, you'll find the level has reorganized itself to keep you guessing. Below can best be summed up as an addictive roguelike, but its mysterious atmosphere and dreamlike visuals elevate it to something truly special. Ubisoft has come out and said straight up that The Division 2 is releasing in March 2019. That lines up perfectly for a major showing at E3, which Ubisoft has also confirmed. The 2016 MMO shooter sold more copies at launch over its first 24 hours than any previous game in the French developer's history, so it's dead certain to be another massive game, and I was one of the people who invested hours upon hours in it. That was actually one of the problems with the game, according to Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot. He says, "We were surprised a little bit by how fast people consumed content on The Division 1, so we've been working with the teams to bring a lot of content at launch and to be ready to continue to supply content a lot during the years that follow the launch." That basically translates to you having a whole lot more content to do right off the bat. What kind of content? I don't know, but it's definitely content, and who doesn't love a bit of content? Wherever The Division 2 is set, it's a great sign that Ubisoft has recognised that players don't want to do any repeatings of missions or grinding. We've shown them that we actually have loads more time on our hands than they thought. Also, you'll be able to transfer some progress from the original game to Division 2, which saves all that time being wasted. Let's end on a biggie, Battlefield 5. Set in World War II, Battlefield 5 takes you to the front lines in a stunning fight for freedom. Setting it apart from previous games is the matey new focus. Ammo is scarcer, you can't heal yourself to 100% without help from a medic, and you also spawn into a squad by default, so all of that will make you rely on your teammates even more. DICE is also adding a major new multiplayer mode called Grand Operations, which sees the max amount of players clash in historically inspired skirmishes. Like for instance, landing as a paratrooper behind enemy lines in Rotterdam and taking out anti-aircraft artillery points. And across it all is impressive environmental destruction that uses real-time physics rather than pre-canned animations. You can even put up fortifications and lay sandbags to give yourself cover, so that's another huge part of Battlefield 5. I definitely want to see more of this at E3. So there we have it, those are the games we are most hyped to see at E3 this year. Do let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to seeing more of, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our E3 coverage. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!